Megalomania. Yeehaw! Greetings, everybody, and here's the next energy update for the day. Well, there's a war going on now between like Georgia and several other places, it so seems, and everybody's linked to a certain supermarket and a certain color range, okay? Because everybody's operating in, duality. And I'm the ultimate liberator because I came to America under a non-dual contract that turned into a covenant. So even if my people that, endowed and reignited my non-duality are now stuck in duality because they associated with idiots, because the guy's enlightened. David Rogers is enlightened. He does have an ego mind. Like enlightenment and ego mind has nothing to do. Enlightenment is different than love lightenment. So I first got enlightened in 2009, then love lightened in 2016. It's different things. Now, in enlightenment basis, you gotta be non-dual, meaning if you guys go through like any of Osho, Mayor Baba, Krishnamurti, and all these beings' teachings, which I read every single book of every single one of these masters under the sun, all the gurus and all the spiritual schools based in India, and how you have like all these many millions of people who go there every year, and it's in every movie, Sex and the City and beyond, they'll go there and you'll wear the orange thing. Why orange? Is because orange enhances transformation. Same as why do the inmates wear orange? Galactic sun, orange. That's the power like of that frequency there. In the shift, In actuality, in the prisons, like that's an opportunity to be the shift as well, kind of thing, if you take it in a constructive manner. And that's also something I want to now share during my Easter this year, when I was again sent the Islamists towards me. And there's a lot of rumors that say that Chris is trying to get me hooked with Iran, because that's apparently who he's attempting to represent, like the Islamist whatever that is movement. So when I was, plucked for Easter, and I had to spend 3 days within like an Islamic group of people down in Marshland Road, and, that was a very tough session to give. And that ended my cycle from when I was in Wexford and went to the Iranian tents back in Silver Springs, Florida. And the guy like pointed his gun at another person who had been stolen their identity from. That's when, Iran gave my identity to Cordoba and decided that they were going to do everything they can to keep that going and get me to go to the October 5 route, where I'm going to be Dima Tabrawi, the boy. I don't know what that is. Like they've tried to, everything they try is to get me to go back to darker hair color. It's been like ongoing now for like very long. So in other words, while I was with these Islamists, what came through, because they're black Islamist people that went to jail for a long time. They always send me the inmates to, and they try to, of course, have my baby and keep me there all the time, which I don't do, I provide sessions, and I use like it's equal energy exchange. They're providing shelter and warmth and cannabis, wonderful, and then I provide sessions and I deconstruct them. And if they touch me, I beat them up. It's the same every time. Then I tell them, I don't rape little boys. I do the same dance every single time. So, with these Islamists, I had to take them back to the chambers of real hell, whereby, when I was arrested in Florida for, standing up for my family, saying, no, you will not marry David Rogers. And I was like, no, David, I'm not going to start a war with my family. They don't want you as my husband. I'm not going to consume our, wedding license that he got me while we were fasting. We were both fasting for 30 days. He took me to Town Hall, Sarasota. We got a, marriage license that can be consumed within the 3 coming days. That's how it functions in the town halls in Sarasota. I don't know about here. I've never even had, a marriage proposal in this town. This town, they've only been used and robbed, basically. And they brought me here for that purpose, because they know that this is an island of, where slavery began, and that's what David wanted me on those bases. So I did not marry him under the first marriage license he offered me. Then I ended up overstaying my visit visa because I was hurt. I was not gonna just leave the guy and like go overseas, because there was the promise of full planetary liberation as I was attuned to his frequency. But he hated Jesus, so that couldn't really have worked. Little did I know, I thought I could convert the guy, but now I did it. It took me 11 years. Now every single show from Jerusalem, they go, "Hi, this is us from Jerusalem. Shalom." And then they go, Thessalonians 101, whatever, Matthew's da-da-da, Genesis da-da-da. And then they pray. They send prayers out to Ukraine and to this and to that. They're becoming that wired up to that kind of patriarchy. And they're saying, in order for Jews to become Christians, they have to be real Jews first. Something around these topics. They're trying to resolve the religious wars over there. Now, what is also going on is, while I was with these Islamists, I had to deliberately share with them, because they're very, repressed people, how I got taken to like 100 floors plus underground wearing orange out in Pinellas, which is a detention center where nearby they have comatose centers where they keep coma people. So it was all, it was all political, of course. I went 100 feet under, and I had like double chains, like not like really like light chains, no, they double chained every part of me, and I was really thin. I was way thinner than now. And the cops in the car were taking me to Tampa were like, "Ma'am, are you the Avatar? Are you the Avatar?" They were very seriously asking me this question. And then, when we were at the Tampa station, I was like sitting at a table and I was telling them all about like heaven on earth and everything. And then I was like, they had like donuts and coffee. I was wanting to get coffee. They're like, "Ma'am, you can't drink coffee. Are you for real?" Like, they're like, because I was already like, they called me Barbie on steroids. Since back then, I was brunette at that point. They're like, "You can't have coffee." And, I was double chained. They had me change into the orange thing, took me 100 feet under to like the psych ward, basically, because they thought I'm insane because I'm talking about new creation and everything. They thought I'm mad. So they took me to like that strata of people where, it's all about food exchange. Like, they don't sleep, those inmates, in the 100th floor downstairs, and each of us had it where we had our own cell with the bars, and in each cell, you have a small bed and like one toilet, and then the bathroom is shared, and they just yell all day, sing out like very like loud songs all night, and they'll go, because they serve us like toast, peanut butter, and jelly for dinner or whatever. "I'll trade you my peanut butter for your jelly, okay?" And then they'll send the peanut butter, like try to make it go through that was like the levels I was at. They were fighting over, who gets food from whom, and they would trick each other. Somebody would say, "I'm gonna get you food. I'm gonna throw you the peanut butter. You throw me the jelly first." And then they're like, "I'm not gonna give it to you," And then they get pissed, but they can't attack each other because they're in jail cells, and then the guards have to come. I only stayed in that facility one night. Then the next day, my actually Latino gang lawyer, which initially got me in there to be deported, then I don't know why they decided they were not going to deport me. He, was going to show up to get me out of there. So in the interim, they removed me from that facility, and then they put me in an even littler box, like a box that is only barely like enough for, I could stand, and I couldn't, like, if I tried to stretch my arms fully, you can't. Like, it was a very small box I was in, and I couldn't like stretch my arms fully. And there was like just tiny little opening with like tiny little bars, and from my bars they had a show of the big guards coming and yelling at their like little superintendent, like subintendents, I don't know what they call them, and then they're like, "Wah!" like talking down at them, and then the people, if they don't look up or say "aye aye sir" or "yes sir" or whatever, they go, "Come again," like very hard discipline on these boys. And I had to watch a bunch of boys downstairs like lined up being yelled at by these superintendents, and I was in that jail cell, and I was like, holding the walls and pushing with all my strength, like and I was like literally like all of me, I was like just like shivering. All my nerves were like, I was in disbelief at those energies. Literally, I was like, oh my goodness, what in the world? And then I had to call Len's Law, and you know, he came and he met me in a little room. He's like, yeah, that is her, you know, this is her, please release her. They drove me from Pinellas back to Tampa, and then Hayden Brockway picked me up from Tampa and dropped me back off at Siesta Key. We played the guitar. Hayden Brockway is, you know, was one of the best men at the wedding. On David's side, of course, he was an insurance broker. You know, with a Mexican wife and a, you know, a Mexican daughter there, and all the story that went along. So we played guitar that day. I was out of this facility, and I had an anklet bracelet that, you know, would make sounds if it's not well charged. So I had to like charge my device by an outlet. Just like now, I have to charge my phone by an outlet and I don't have any freedoms. They started that back then because they're very skeptical. Like when I say I am Mother of New Creation, New Jerusalem and everything, they're like, you're insane, you're mad, rah! You know, they don't have faith. They lost that aspect. They're very detached from their soul self, these guards and inmates and the whole situation. And when the inmates were like, why are you here? I was like, well, because I fell in love with the wrong guy. They're like, yeah, ha, ha, yeah, right. I'm in here because I stole a scoop of peanut butter from the jar. Wah! That was the kind of jokes that were made about me in jail. And I was basically released, and it's been still ongoing. Now I'm monitored by more than one clan. I'm monitored by the whole planet, and they try to steal whatever they can, whenever they can, is the new rule of the game. So I took these kids through this transmission in order to free them from their ingrainment, and that worked because then I get their uncle from Marshland Drive, who yesterday night came back again, you know, around the car that I park up north in the parking lots. He rides his bikes, and you know, they knock at my window in the middle of the night, and they just start to talk to me, you know. Then they're like, you know, we're Muslims, but we no longer read our Quran because it's trying to tell us to kill people. So they're trying to, now the Muslims are literally, they're like sucking up to me, like in actual terms. They're like, oh, I have a land and we want you to move in with us, and this is New Jerusalem. They start to repeat my sayings, but they all make pretend that they don't know me. What is your name? Who are you? You know, everybody plays the same idiot game. Like everybody makes pretend that they don't know I'm Aurora Mother of New Creation. And everybody that approaches me is like, who are you? What you do here? Oh, really? What your name? You want to come suck my dick? They all do the same round of applause of a Negro act, basically. So he was like, I'm 66 and I'm the last, you know, the last God alive and whatever. I'm going to marry you. I was like, I don't want to marry you, sir. He's like, I can marry you anyways. You know how they think, these Muslims. That's the exact same thing as when the Iranian kid down there was like, are you my wife or my slave? I was like, none of the above. I'm Aurora Mother of New Creation, but they don't get it. So still every day, just like Amber didn't get it, they're the same. They're Taurus. They cannot comprehend. No, they cannot. They will not. So still up until now, every day they repop in my YouTube, you know, oh, Taurus, she's in love with you, she's gonna come to you. And no matter how much you say no, there's still, it's gonna still replay. They don't understand that chemically speaking, I do not merge with the being. But no, it cannot be understood at any level with these beings. So what's going on next is, now we're gonna go back to, you know, the fatality of, you know, beings like Jonah Terry, whom, you know, it's true that, okay, we can find excuses for him, like, okay, maybe Amy Carlson, you know, pushed for him to choose other people. They sent in Christina at first to the room as myself to, you know, make the Haley versus Selena thing. They always had the Cristal Cordoba was always in the works since the Caitlyn went to Costa Rica. This has been like a long time coming. And the false programming is like Chris Cado was like, he's cheating on his wife. When I was sleeping in the garage, in the parking lot, in Chris's car, at the Northridge Plaza there, and they were hoping I would go back to Billy. They were like, call Billy, say I love you from Dima. You know, they were all trying to say, okay, Dima, now call Billy, say you love him. Because Cristal is like that. She thinks that, you know, That's what the Latino little girls do. They think that, you know, just like they get all their Latina friends to have orgies, because that's what the Latino gang does. They think that everybody is going to be subservient to them, but that's not the case. You know, I'm nobody's slave here, and I don't play slave games with the Latino gang. I don't do that. So when I did not say, you know, I'm Dima, and I didn't call Billy, Annie, the main Chinese girl in the house, got very pissed. She had to kick me out. I was asleep in the parking lot, and Jonah was going in, and he was, you know, banging other people. And that's when Chris was telling me, I'm trying to teach Justin how to drive. You know, I'm giving Justin driving lessons. You know, and then he would go, yeah, now he's cheating on his wife. So in Chris Cadeau's ego mind, he thinks that because Jonah married Cristal Cordoba as Dima Tabrad for Aurora Diamond Rainbow, she's now his wife. But that's not the case. She's not his wife. She's a lying snake. And I tell Chris every day, you know, is your wife from Costa Rica taking advantage of you? Why do you send her? He's like, we have bills. What do you mean we have bills? You don't even live there. You know, he has a fat wife in Costa Rica. All she does every day is, oh, my love. Hi, my love. You know, and then his bosses, Michael and Jiangsu, whatever, they're pissed at him. They're like, you know, what the fuck, mate? Because he sends her all the money he makes from America to Costa Rica every day. And then they try to put magic on my green card also, whatever. So they were trying to teach Jonah how to fuck Cristal in order for her to become Aurora Diamond Rainbow and me to leave for the October 5 situation, go to Georgia. And that's what they're still fighting. That's why they don't let me post at Twill or whatever. They're manipulating the energies. I'm never gonna give up, you know. I am Dima Tabrad for Aurora Diamond Rainbow, and Cristal Cordoba has to just deliberately choose another path, because you're making an idiot out of yourself, sweetheart. Period. The end. So one more thing now, just to mention about like the sperm thing. Like, you know, it's an ego mind thing too with the patriarchs. They think that their sperm is almighty. And because he is Lucifer, father of all creation, whatever his sperm decides, if his sperm decides to seed that woman and feed her cum every night and let her wear my clothes and take my art and steal my mechanics and lie to the cops, and if he does it enough, she's gonna turn into me because he thinks that his sperm is almighty. It's like supreme megalomania. But you have all now learned that that doesn't work. Your sperm will not turn a hooker into me at all. No matter how many false rumors you said about me because I'm blonde, no matter how many times you try to say that I'm Christina Pushkina and try to, you know, send me off to that direction with Forsyth, trying to, you know, push, like, even last time I went to, you know, with the Scorpio kid that picked me up with the candy stuff. Also, I had a missing sock, so every time they try to take one of my socks so that Tatiana wears my sock so that we become soul sisters. This is like the whole thing from California. In my hostel, we had Lisa in the room. That's the whole thing about the Mona Lisa thing. You know, they're trying to, you know, Lisa was like pregnant with twins, so they're trying at any cost to get me to have a twin sister, and so that we walk together. You know, that's one of the options, basically. But no matter how much I love and appreciate, you know, all liberated women, I still will not really play that game here. Anywho, even, you know, now we had a John situation here show up. So even the Steve guy, when he showed up in my dream and while I was sleeping at Forsyth, it was like, you know, Tatiana showed me a piece of paper in the dream saying Aurora Diamond Rainbow, and I tore it up. You know, meaning she wanted me to become Aurora through a union with her. Now, I still didn't perform the surgery Earth Central with a feminine, which I said I was yesterday. And I'm not sure that I am going to do it today, but in all practicality and factuality, you know, those are the facts. And I am pro-evolution, so I'm very sorry and apologetic to everybody in Carolina and beyond that you were all ruled by wrong, you know, distorted feminines, be it Amber Dawn Galardia or Cristal Cordoba. They both had the same conditioning and programming of extreme self-hate, that they thought that if they try to pretend they're me, it's gonna fade away and then they're gonna get away with it and I'm gonna just like fuck off and be deported and go die like my mom. It didn't happen, so now we're all dealing with it. And now Jonah has learned that his sperm is not almighty, and without my holy grail, you will never get new creation or New Jerusalem. And you know, now they're trying to say that, oh, Lebanon is under this state under the collapse mode or whatever. No, we're not going to collapse. Hezbollah's not going to take. So just also for you guys to know, the first night I was sleeping in the parking lot of Chris Cadeau, you know, I had like not only visions, it was like real. Like I saw all the work that Iran did on me in the tent and whatever. Like they had opened portals through my womb, my you know, my sacral chakra and everything, as linked to the Kaaba. And that's when I saw that the Kaaba in itself is a portal to the jinns. That's the jinn world, is what's allowing everybody to go into terology. You know, that's where the spirits, the jinn is like bad little, you know, traveling spirits between heaven and earth that relate messages from the gods to the humans. That's where the tarot thing comes from. You know, that's why as long as there's tarot going on, there's not going to be divine union, because tarot is jerking off the karmics. Even if you don't know it, anybody who's doing tarot, maybe your meaning, you try to mean well, and some of them even start to pray, oh, in the name Jesus, the holy name, and they go through the rosary and whatever, and then they do the cards. That's still not going to get you there, because in actual factuality, the Mayan calendar has to stop, the astrology has to stop, all the tarot, this all shit, this is like amber shit, it has to go away. Anywho, love you all.